Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever or wherever you are. Um, I'm Icon, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to make a Don't Forget That. It's gonna be quite simple. I'm just gonna create a new project, and I'm gonna call it Esc To Exit Addon tutorial. It's basically gonna be done for pressing the ESC key and exiting the application. Quite simple, nothing really extraordinary. Um, let's start with the basic setup on our project so we can ensure we are testing and understanding how does this application works. I'm just creating a new main scene so we can it's already created here and we can have the application, and basically in our add-on what are we gonna do is when we click in the X button right here, it closes the application. So we're gonna replicate this action. We're gonna create an input action so we can press the ESC key on the keyboard, and it's gonna have the same action as pressing the X button. It's gonna close the application. So let's start. Basically, we're gonna attach a new script in our main node. So we're gonna go step by step. I'm gonna just do the basics first, and then we're gonna adapt our add-on for the best encapsulated scenario for this kind of component. And I'm gonna call this script right here Esc To Exit, so we can create our add-on script. It's not add-on yet, it's just a script, and we are gonna handle it and improve it so we can have a decent add-on. First things is, as we're gonna handle the input, the keyboard input specifically, so we're gonna need the input function and filter this input function for input event key. And right now we just need to add one more filter, which is I'm gonna not only handle all these keys, I'm gonna handle only the ask key. So I'm gonna doing event dot key. Oh god, event dot key equals to key escape. So, oh, actually it's a condition. So, if the key which is being pressed is exactly the escape key, we're gonna just do the get tree and quit. So we're gonna get the root node of our application and exit, closing the application. If we test this right now and press the ESC key, it's already working, but it's not yet an add-on. We need to make this application that we just created, this little piece of code, an add-on. And how can we achieve this objective? First thing, we can just encapsulate a little more our application. You're gonna see why is this important. Basically, I don't want the developer to worry about assigning this script to a node, as we just did. I want this developer to have the most encapsulated add-on as possible. Every time you're doing an add-on, try to make it really simple. And one of our ways to make it simple is, as you can see, we only need to load this script once, so it does not need to be on our node itself. It can be like a global node, something that is globally handled by the Godot engine. And Godot has a very useful thing for that. We are gonna use the Autoload for Godot. And what it's gonna do is when I load this application, load the Esc To Exit, I'm gonna just add it as an add-on, close, and I'm gonna remove it as a script here. So the main is no more um, uh, handling this input. The main node is just a node without any script. but we added it as a DOM. We imported it in Godot as an add-on. And what happens is when we click the run button, we can also see in the remote tab right here that we have our root node of our application. We do have our main node, which is basically this main scene here. And we have the Esc To Exit as child of our root application. This is what the add-on does. This is what the autoload does. So when we autoload a script, it's automatically instanced inside our application. And this is the behavior I want because the developer does not need to worry about dragging the Esc to exit inputs, which is gonna be our add-on to our my application. So it's more encapsulated behavior, and it's still working because when I click Esc, the Esc key, it closes the application. So this script is running as autoload, okay, in a global, like a global script. And now let's go, now that we understand how does this application works, let's go to the add-on part. Let's transform this into a add-on. First thing you're gonna do is go to project settings, plugins, and create new plugin. I'm gonna fulfill this form, but you can do whatever you want, whatever you need. um, So this is gonna be my add-on. Ask to exit subfolder ask to exit in snake case as the default for Godot. And the description is basically done for exiting application whenever the ASCII key is pressed. You can fulfill this form wherever you want, but there is one important thing here is that my script name is gonna be initializer, and I'm gonna explain why am I giving this name for this script and not ask to exit. There is a difference here. This script name, let me create so I can show you what it does. It creates a new inside and it creates a DOM folder. It creates a ask to exit folder, which is our add-on. If we create another add-on, it's gonna be here inside another folder, right? And inside the Esc to exit folder, we have these two files. Plugin.cfg is gonna be all the form basically that we fulfilled in the step before, in one step before. And here we have our script initializer.gd. And this initializer.gd script basically does it runs inside the editor. So it's running right now. One, if I do, for instance, just to show you here, a print of delta, and think I don't know if the yeah. So when he he start the plugin, it just prints me the delta inside the plugin and not even running the project. Let me disable it because it's spawning so much the bugs in the console. Let me remove this. We're gonna need this, and as you know, we cannot just take these pieces of code and put here because when we press ask, we are just gonna close Godot itself, and it's not what we want right now. Um, we want to close the application while it's running, okay? But there is one important thing we need to do this here. We need to ensure that our autoload is added here. So we can ensure it's added and enabled here. This is important, right? So whenever we click on enable here, this function handler is gonna be handled, okay? When we unflag enabled, this exit tree is gonna be triggered. And what I want to do is, when the plugin is enabled, I'm gonna add the autoload Esc To Exit, which, one more thing, I'm gonna now need to give the Esc To Exit here, but as you know, it's outside our add-on folder, so let me Control Z, include it in our add-on. So now Ask To Exit is inside our add-on folder, and when we can finally drag it to our script like this, and it's just gonna create our autoload, and our Ask To Exit scripts will globally load into our application. So also, when we exit tree, I mean, when we unflag the enabled checkbox of this plugin, we're gonna remove the autoload singleton, which is gonna be the Ask To Exit autoload. We don't need this time to pass the path to the autoload because we are just removing it. So what happens now? Let me just remove it here manually for this first time. It's enabled, so when I disable, nothing's gonna be happening because, oh, it's giving me an error because it does not exist. But when I enable it, here it is. It's automatically imported as autoload. If I disable again, it's removed from now autoload. When I enable again, it's back. So it encapsulates our scripts and automates the developer task of assigning this Esc To Exit to any node or autoload or something like that manually. And it's gonna be nicer for the add-on itself. I think that is it. This is how you create an add-on on Godot. Bring me a like, give me a like here in the here below, and thanks for watching.